As Carol was speaking, I remembered my first impression, like my first noticing as well when I took in the materials. And I remember thinking, because my background before administration was I was a high school English teacher. And so I'm familiar with that literacy teacher perspective of like, all right, here's my standards, here's the text I'm working with, and which of these standards pairs well with this text? Like I remember Romeo and Juliet being a great example of irony, for example, right? But if I'm trying to teach irony with some other book, it's just not gonna fit. And that was one of the things I really loved right away when I looked at this curriculum was I could see that every reading selection, they didn't just like blindly apply the standard to each text, but they had carefully noticed like when you're reading chapter 5 is the time when the character's motivation is going to be great to work with, right? And so that's it, it basically when I looked at the curriculum, I thought to myself, this is curriculum this like as if you got your most talented literacy teachers to write custom units for you. So that's my first thing that came to mind I wanted to share. And then I think anybody considering new adoption would notice that too if you're looking deeply into the units and the lessons. But second, I would say that in year one implementation, I think it really helped us to on the support side, like learning director and my TOSA team and in walkthroughs and stuff, we noticed right away it was going to help our teaching team to help them understand how to efficiently internalize the materials. So we just created some guidance around that, like, hey, first thing to notice is those teaching points. Second thing, check the end, begin with the end in mind. What is the assessment, the formative? How are students going to show that they know that teaching point? And then now let's look at the sequence of questioning as you read today. And so, so just guiding them in how to quickly get used to the pattern, because there's a pattern in the way that the lessons are designed. I think that helps a lot. And then second thing I would suggest to anybody, especially in the beginning of implementation, is just in the OBS feedback cycles that you have. When you have those coaching conversations with teachers, of course, you notice, right, how the lesson was written versus what they actually did in practice. There's often gaps and differences, right? Because teachers make decisions in the moment. So having conversations with them and being curious, why did you choose to do this instead? That teaches you so much about all the things they're weighing when they decide to be different than the lesson. And you can kind of problem solve and figure those issues out, overcome hurdles that way. So that's my best advice for getting started.